Friday night at Coopers Stadium. It's an iconic setting for one of the league's most electric rivalries, certainly in recent meetings. Adelaide United versus Macarthur FC. We are in Adelaide, the city of churches. Tandanya in the language of the Ghana people, the First Nations, custodians of Adelaide. And a big night for these two sides. Top of the table beckons if we are to have a winner this evening. Adelaide are coming off back-to-back wins and have lost just once in their last 6. Their opponents, well, they beat the champions 6-2 last weekend and have suffered just one defeat in their last 9. So these are two of the form sides in the Isuzu UTE A-League competition, going head-to-head. The last few seasons, this rivalry has turned very much in Macarthur's favour. Of 12 previous meetings, 7 wins for the visitors from Sydney's southwest, 4 wins for Adelaide and just the 1 draw, but Macarthur have 4 of those 7 wins in their last 6 meetings, and they are looking to make it 3 in a row, including 3 out of 4 here in Adelaide. It would certainly be a way to celebrate their 150th match in the A-League. A 6th season for the black and white in Australia's premier domestic footballing competition. But it's no easy task knocking off the Reds at home on a Friday night. It's the 4th Friday night at Coopers this season, and Craig Goodwin and his mates have won the previous 3. We did, of course, this week have the terrible news of the passing of Rado Vidic, so let's go down pitch side for a moment's recognition.
The Australian football community is deeply saddened to learn of the passing of Rado Vidic. Rado leaves an enduring legacy on our game, inspiring and empowering men's and women's players across our leagues for almost 2 decades. A premiership and championship winning coach, Rado's legacy is felt well beyond the pitch. A friendly, kind-hearted and much-loved football person who worked tirelessly to improve players, coaches and staff around him. We join the wider football community in remembering Rado and extend our heartfelt thoughts and condolences to his family and loved ones. In recognition of his contribution to the game, we ask you, if able, to please stand for a moment of applause for Rado Vidic. Thank you.
Well, let's have a look at how our two sides line up this evening. For Adelaide, Ayrton Andrioli has made 3 changes from the side that twice came from behind to beat Brisbane last time out. Taladera, Riak and Anselmo are all out. Luka Jovanovic and Yaya Dakuli return to the starting 11 for the first time since coming back from the Under-23 Asian Cup. And the final change is a first ever A-League start for the man of the moment, 19-year-old Brodie Burkett, scorer of a second-half hat-trick off the bench against Brisbane last weekend in just his 2nd ever appearance. He partners Jovanovic up front. Of note, apart from Josh Smits in that lineup, all 10 outfield players South Australian, including Yaya Dakuli, of course, the most South Australian of Conakry, Guinea-born players. Panakikianis, 20 years of age, heavily linked to a move to Heracles in the Dutch First Division, but couldn't get his Greek passport across the line in time. And now the move may be conditional on whether Heracles even stay up. They are currently bottom of the Eredivisie in the Netherlands. For their opponents this evening, Mile Sturjovski has made 1 change to the starting 11. He's made more changes to that starting 11 than any other side in the A-League. A knee injury to captain Luke Bratton means that he is out. It's a 16th different starting 11 for Macarthur in 16 matches. Curto in goals, Scott, Uzcock, De Silva and Talbot across the back. Rose, Caceres drops into that Bratton role in midfield with Gajan, the number 10. And the three up front, Bosniak comes in alongside Mitch Duke and Luke Vickery. And while Burkett may be the talk of the town in South Australia, Mitch Duke is filling that role for the Bulls at 35 years of age. It's a 4th stint in the A-League. He got an assist on debut for the Bulls against the Mariners, and he got his name on the score sheet with the opening goal last weekend that set them on their way against Melbourne City. And he's hoping to book his place in the World Cup squad. There is Ayrton Andrioli, the Brazilian master of this young Adelaide side. It's their youngest starting 11 of the season, an average age of just over 24. They're taking on the oldest side on average in the competition, even without Luke Bratton out there. Mile Stojovski's team showed that experience counts last week against Melbourne City in their best performance of the campaign. Our referee is Nathan Shakespeare. He takes charge of these two sides for the first time. He's being assisted by Kearney Robinson and Joey Lee. Daniel Cook is the 4th official, and Alex King and Daniel Elder are in the VAR room. There is Brodie Burkett. Well, he looked the part when he came on in the original rivalry. He looked even more than that last week in Brisbane. Now back at home and in the starting 11. Friday nights at Coopers are most definitely a thing in the A-League. There's a new phenomenon this season as well, in this most remarkable and spectacularly unpredictable league season. Nobody seems capable of seizing top spot in the league. We have 2 more pretenders to the crown this evening, because it's a winner takes all between Adelaide and Macarthur. A match, Eric Partaloo, that says goals, goals, goals this evening.
Yeah, good evening, Robbie. 5 teams are within striking distance of that top spot. 2 of them on show here tonight, Macarthur and Adelaide. And it's been a bright start from the away side, but we will see a lot of jostling over the next couple of weeks to see if anyone can usurp Auckland at the summit of the A-League. They could be knocked off their perch by the time they play on Saturday night. They could be knocked off here after 90 minutes time. It's going to be very intriguing to see what takes place.
Panakikianis will take this free kick, or goal kick. Panakikianis will be, in fact, it's a set move to try and draw out Macarthur. A little confusion, perhaps, in the minds of their opponents. De Cooley back with Barnett, and all the way back again to the Dutchman, Josh Smits. Andrioli confirming that Kikianis will stay for the rest of the season at least in an Adelaide jersey. All the way back to Philip Curto. His clearance only as far as Craig Goodwin. Phyllis, back-to-back starts in the A-League for him. In the absence of Bart Vriens, there have been a couple of players who have tried to fill that role in the centre of defence. Stanisic is one who's on the bench this evening. Jay Barnett as well, who's at right back. Andrioli has faith in the kids, that's for sure. Little ball over the top is a good one. One for Duke to chase. Gets there, the cut back. Kikianis steering it inadvertently back to his goalkeeper. And
that's like the issue tonight for Macarthur. It's Mitchell Duke going onto that ball, but who's inside the box supporting him? Caceres playing a bit more of a deeper role in the absence of Luke Bratton, so they need somebody to go and get themselves inside the box. Mitchell Duke doesn't really want to make those runs. He wants the ball to his feet, he wants to hold things up and allow runners to go in behind.
As Grujan wins it back high off Phyllis. Here's Caceres. Bosniak, who looks as though he has got the nod as that number 10 just behind Mitchell Duke. Dean Bosniak as De Silva winds up the big curling cross. De Cooley with Barnett, and Adelaide are able to play their way forward through the back of Johnny Yull. Burkett out-muscled by De Silva, who did score a goal like that back in the French First Division. Goal of the season many moons ago now for the 37-year-old.
It'd have to be special from there. But what I like about this Macarthur side is, if you remember back to round 2, it was Anthony Caceres that was out of the squad, and Liam Rose went forward, and that's how he ended up scoring that goal on the volley. It was Liam Rose stepping forward into that role. Now with no Bratton, it does pose a bit of a different question.
De Cooley looking to use his pace. Satirios Phyllis now, who looks as though he's exchanging left and right back and centre back at the moment with Jay Barnett. Luka Jovanovic will be keen to add to his 4 goals so far this season. Curto, the big up and under. Kikianis winning that header. Ryan White with Rose. The free kick goes Adelaide's way.
I'm not sure you can play the ball from the ground like that, but it was a really good effort from Liam Rose getting across the pitch, and he's looked really sharp in that role this season, and it's more of a defined one of getting forward and supporting the frontline players as well.
Craig Goodwin manages to keep that in play. Kitto, and now Burkett putting himself about. Bosniak strong in that challenge with Uzcock. Caceres back out to De Silva. New role for Johnny Yull this season, at least. He's been playing as a second striker or in a wide right position. Now he's in the middle of the park alongside Ryan White. It looks perhaps as 2/8 or something, with Ryan White as the 6. Here's Vickery. Flip flat past Kitto. Vickery! That's a good save from Smets. And a first shot across the bow from the visitors.
That's really bright from Macarthur. That's what you want to see. Getting down the line and having an impact. And as soon as he got his head up here, it didn't have a lot on. There wasn't a lot of support. And this piece of skill is absolutely exquisite. And the shot, even better. He tested Josh Smits there at the near post. That was a save he had to make.
And the corner taken short. Caceres pops it up to the back post. De Silva was there. It's a good defensive header from Phyllis. And De Silva allows it to run out. So another set piece from the other side now. This time the players might just be looking into the sun, which could prove problematic for defenders and attackers alike. That will do Smith's confidence some good. He's had a couple of nervy little moments the last few matches. Rose back with Caceres. Burkett doing just enough.
It's something they need to work on, the Macarthur Bulls. Just the 1 goal from corners this season. They've got quite a few big units that they could utilise a little bit more. And now you've got Mitchell Duke, he's a kangaroo in the air when he gets going, isn't he? So they've got that option.
Oh, the mistake. That ricocheted off Anthony Caceres. It would have been one of the more unusual goals we'd seen scored in the A-League. They've just had a little bit of trouble playing their way out. This is better from Kikianis, who found Burkett. He really does look a lot like Johnny Yull, the way he moves. Shape on the pitch. Here's De Cooley. The touch just a little bit heavy. Liam Rose back outside for Walter Scott. Bosniak, the young Socceroo who was at the Under-20 World Cup. the start of the season. Rose, Scott, Long, and Mitch Duke. He's going to have to choose his runs. He's not going to chase everything.
Yeah, and it's actually quite interesting watching Adelaide up top tonight. You've got Jovanovic and Burkett, who look as though they're working as a solid pair through the middle. We're so used to seeing Jovanovic being isolated by himself, having Goodwin on the left, Cooley on the right, or vice versa. It almost looks as though they've got two options up there.
Kitto with Burkett, and now wide, Craig Goodwin drives it in near post. Jovanovic is there now. Cooley back across the face of goal. Well, surely that was a shot from Yaya Cooley that he just got all wrong. It was sitting there for the volley, asking to be hit. Big opening for Adelaide. Cooley has it again. He's fouled there by Walter Scott. Referee Nathan Shakespeare sees nothing untoward in that challenge. Walter Scott. Oh, he's just pulled up out of that pass. Pickering. Mitch Duke just slipping as he looked to lift that one back into the channel.
Just that ball from Craig Goodwin. He's got such a good left foot, and that delivery, we expect it time and time again, and so do his teammates. Cooley, he's got a lot of assists this year, got the 5, yet to score a goal for the Reds.
He laid on Burkett's second, the second equaliser for Adelaide last weekend. His 5th assist of the season, second only to Melbourne Victory's Juan Mata. Here's Josh Smits with Johnny Yull. Barnett, who is a right-back Barnett, but is coming central to help Adelaide play out by the looks of things. Here's Goodwin. You can hear Kitto calling for it back. Now the cutback. Wozniak is there. Gets it clear, only as far as Johnny Yull. He's got a good shot on him. He respects the hierarchy, though, and heads to his captain. Kitto, little touch, nicely done. Doesn't open up for Jovanovic. Now Ryan White, lovely skill. And good save, Curto, had to be made because Brodie Burkett was lurking again.
Impressive from the home side. Good one-touch football to release somebody with a bit of extra time and space. And that touch there, you thought that Ryan White was going to get forward. Curto got down really well, but that touch there just takes everybody by surprise. It's a good move.
Now slowly dropping down towards the 30-degree mark. Goodwin delivers. Cooley on the left. Oh, it's some strike. And Curto may have got a touch to it. Looks as though it's a goal kick. That's off the top of the crossbar.
Well, maybe he's going to find his first goal tonight. That's the second warning sign. That was a lot closer. It was dangerous from Cooley from distance on the edge of the box. He made great connection with this on the left foot. It was not far away.
Philip Curto did not get anywhere near it. Great strike. He's had his chances to score. He often does. Yaya Cooley had to bide his time last season when returning to Adelaide. Duke. This time, referee says free kick. Sotirios Philis, the player penalised.
This is what Mitch Duke adds to Macarthur balls. It's holding the ball up. It's getting involved in the attacking play, but it's going in and getting stuck in. And unfortunately, he's going to be a bit sore on that one. It's a very dangerous stud there from Philis.
Coming and getting the word from Anthony Caceres. Standing over this one. Caceres to the back post to Silva. Wasn't far away. Oh, Smits drops it and is fouled by Duke.
It was a decent ball in. And Mitchell Duke is always going to go for these sorts of balls. Caceres just hangs it up, hoping that De Silva can get that one back in. I don't see too much wrong with that from Mitch Duke, but this, however, I'm very surprised we've not seen a caution.
De Cooley. Little touch from Bosniak. Liam Rose as well with a lovely little touch. Duke now. Bosniak again. Manages to turn out of trouble, stay on his feet. Caceres. Elegant footballer. Duke. Able to turn, he's done that well. Looks for the big switch of play, it's over Kitto. Here's Vickery. He's got Walter Scott to aim for in the middle. It's beyond him. Phyllis, and helped on by Johnny Yull. Macarthur come again. They'll be brimming with confidence after scoring 6 against Melbourne City last week. They're in behind them again. Liam Rose, the cutback. Kikianis had his arms tight behind his back. Uzcock looking to keep the pressure on. De Cooley. Oh, that's given away very cheaply. Bosniak back outside. Grosjean. His cross towards Duke. What a good glancing touch on it, Vickery. In it comes from Talbot. Took a deflection on the way through, and Ryan Kitto gets it anywhere will do, and now perhaps the break is on. Burkett. Jovanovic charging through the middle. Comes short. It's a good ball from Brodie Burkett. Those two striking up their understanding, and Jovanovic trying to catch out Curto from a near impossible angle.
That's just beautiful connection. It's great to watch from the Reds, and Brodie Burkett got his head up and looked for that little run from Jovanovic, and he made a really smart one to try and go one-on-one with Uzcock. Could he have kept going with that ball or waited for somebody to come in? But I'd love to see Brodie Burkett, the youngster, coming in, understanding that, okay, I've got to play alongside Jovanovic tonight. I don't have to go and score goals, but I've got to try and help him create something.
Curto with the goal kick. Duke helps it on. Kikianis all the way back to Philip Curto. Let's head down pitch side to Lucas Ronaldo with us this evening. Lucas.
Evening, boys. You mentioned the weather at the top there, Robbie. Obviously, this game was pushed back by half an hour. It has cooled down a bit. It was still 35 degrees, but there's a bit of wind, so it is a bit nicer. Talking to a few of the players before the game, it's been sweltering in Adelaide this week, so it has been brutal conditions for the players all week. That it seems crazy, but I think they're a bit happy that it's got a little bit of wind, worse than it, or better than it could have been, rather. But considering how young this side, one for you boys, how young this Adelaide side is, we've seen them score goals late on in both games in the last couple of weeks. Could that be an advantage, considering Macarthur the oldest side in the league?
Yeah, Lucas, well, you wonder how long that can continue, winning games in stoppage time. I'm sure Andrioli would want to get the game secure. I said the same thing last week, but as long as they keep winning, I don't think they really care. But they have such great home form, Adelaide.
And they might be on the break here. Burkett had a look. Couldn't release Craig Goodwin, who was coming down his left-hand side. Macarthur have had a couple of openings, and now Adelaide looking to just flex their muscle as well. Here's Caceres. Those blue shoes making him easy to spot. Grosjean. Little 1-2. 3 between those two. Grosjean finds Vickery. Vickery back for Grosjean. Oh, what a chance. Huge opportunity for Shime Grosjean to score his first ever A-League goal. He won't get a better opportunity.
The search continues, but it's been from coast to coast for the Macarthur Bulls. There's a great little interchange there with Caceres, and they've played that pass out to Vickery a few times now, and he's done really well to manufacture a really good chance And the Croatian's got to try and score from that angle. He's got to hit the target at least, and in the end, it was neither.
Well, he has scored in the ACL2 competition, where Macarthur are into the last 16 and will take on Bangkok United. Away and then at home on the 12th and 19th of February. Massive continental competition for them. Oh, it's another mistake. Uzkok won't catch Jovanovic. He's too quick. Look at Jovanovic. But Kurto with a massive save to keep Macarthur level. Jovanovic gets it straight back again. Adelaide looking for that opener. Ryan White with Johnny Yull. Johnny Yull, little 1-2 with Kitto. Might come back, and in the end, it's all the way back to Philip Kurto. Looks like Johnny Yull's carrying a letter or something in his left hand as he runs.
Well, there's a big chance there as well. Kurto does extremely well to come out and smother. I'll tell you what, for a game that's in supposedly high temperatures, we are being treated to a really good game of football. They're exerting themselves. It doesn't look like they're getting tired already, which is fantastic. The limit is there, and they're touching it.
Tommy Uzkok. There have been a couple of wayward passes that can prove very costly when you've got speedsters like Dakuli and Jovanovic and Burkett at one end, Vickery and Grosjean at the other. Look at that. 20 minutes gone, 8 shots already at goal. And Adelaide, well, that was a really fine stop from Kurto to deny Luka Jovanovic best chance of the evening so far. Goodwin with Kitto. Ryan White. Burkett was taking off down the left wing. They bring it back right side with Dakuli. Oh, Walter Scott overcommitted. Got a big chunk of Dakuli's jersey. Will be the first booking of this contest in the 21st minute.
Well, just when you thought Yaya Dakuli might be better off on the left-hand side, he shows us that he can use the touchline as his friend. That's exactly where he needs to go. Put himself between the player and the ball and the touchline and just run down that side. He gave Walter Scott an issue straight away with his pace.
Macarthur, they don't concede many goals this side. Just 2 in the opening 30 minutes of matches so far this season, fewer than any other. But Adelaide have really tested them so far. They have emerged unscathed so far.
A nice 9-iron to the far post there. The hands in the back from Kitto. It was a wasted opportunity. Didn't really need to do that, because if the defender heads the ball up in the air or heads it away, you're still involved in something inside the box. It's a silly giveaway.
Kurto gets us back underway. We're going to have a drinks break very shortly. We are just about halfway through this first half. It is still around 30 degrees. I think we've had the hottest ever day in South Australia earlier today, with a temperature recorded at 50 degrees. A few hours north of Adelaide. Duke does brilliantly. Grosjean, oh goodness me. Well, his radar is all askew at the moment. That's a second great chance, and perhaps more importantly, Luke Vickery was sitting there with the goal gaping.
It looked like a cheeky handball. This possibly, I'd love to have seen what would have happened from VAR had this gone in, but he had the pass as well. and an open goal. He's got to get that right, Shimei Grosjean. Has 2 opportunities now, have gone begging.
Oh, look, he's going to have a word to Luke Vickery now. Shimei Grosjean at the top of your screen there. You just saw it on the big screen as well, and I think it even looked a little bit worse. Drinks break. It comes probably at a bad time for the neutral observer, because this has been a ridiculously entertaining start to this one, despite the heat. Chances at both ends. And the biggest surprise, perhaps, is that we're still scoreless.
Well, it could have been a lot more if you remember the game that finished 5-4 at Cooper's last season. It's almost a carbon copy without the finishes. But here's some highlights so far from Adelaide, and they've had some really good looks in front of goal. Yaya Dakouli's had a couple. That one, the first, and this run forward from White produced a save out of Curto. He's had a couple as well. Dakouli, this time on the left foot. That's his closest as we've come. And the connection between Burkett and Jovanovic is there. It's just the goals that are missing, the shots on target as well. They need to try and test out Curto a little bit more. And this back pass, this is the chance that maybe Jovanovic will be thinking about in this drinks break. Could he have gone over the top of him? Could he have kept running? It's been a good start from Adelaide.
Certainly has, and Yaya Dakouli, as well as Jovanovic, Lucas on the sidelines for us. Those 2 youngsters from that under-23 Australia squad showing their worth to Andrioli's side.
Absolutely. Obviously, Yaya was in sensational form prior to that tournament and scored that goal during. It was interesting this week. He spoke in the media and he said to us that he thinks of his role this year as a wing-back. They do tend to sort of float between a back 3 and a back 4 at times, United. He's been a bit further forward tonight. But it was interesting to see Yaya Dakouli. You think of him as an out-and-out winger, setting up goals as he has so often this season. But United are so fluid, as you mentioned, Robbie. Jay Barnett, starting out at right back today, has spent most of his time in the centre of midfield. It's an almost impossible scenario to try, or task to try and decide what formation this team is playing, because they're so fluid.
Thank you, Lucas. Yes, absolutely. There are players clearly, Eric, serving very particular roles for certain phases of play where they're expected to be in certain positions.
And that's what makes them so difficult to read. Both of these sides have the most different goal scorers, and that's the difficult thing. When you go up against Adelaide, who do you focus on? Do you go and focus on a Dakouli? Do you stop Goodwin from playing? Do you stop Jovanovic? And I think when you have a team like that, it's just so difficult to try and stop. And I guess with that Brazilian background with Andrioli, he loves to have a team that's flexible. He loves to have a team with the ball, with purpose. But hey, if your teammate's out of position, you can go and fill and help out, and you should know every position on the pitch.
Now Macarthur, we're looking to break forward there. And the referee, Nathan Shakespeare, perhaps just feeling that Ryan White had a more serious injury than he did. Wanted to... Well, there is a bit of blood, in fact, from the nose, so just caught a flailing arm of Liam Rose, I think. He's going to have to leave the field of play. I'll just check him to make sure he's all right. It's certainly been played at 1,000,000 miles an hour so far. This one there is Liam Rose. He's having his best season in the A-League so far. He got his first goal, but he's been exceptional in the middle of the park. A bit of banter with Luka Jovanovic by the looks of things as well. Ryan White is ready to rejoin. Adelaide momentarily down to 10. Now he can come back on as Burkett. Can't find Goodwin. Talbot for Vickery. Here's quick Vickery. He's about to try and head off to the North American lower divisions when Western United went under, before he got the phone call from Macarthur, or rather he called Macarthur, seeing if there was any interest in the A-League, and they're certainly happy they picked him up as well, Vickery. Here's Goodwin. Adelaide happy to have him back as well. Burkett, little 1-2 with Kinto. Goodwin still going, the cutback. Kitto arriving, Caceres with Talbot. That's pretty coolly done. Here's Vickery again. Closed down quickly by Ryan White.
It's really good involvement from Brodie Burkett to understand the game, to understand where your teammates are running. It takes time. It takes time on the training pitch, but to go and execute it at Cooper Stadium in your first start for the club, it's something else as well. He's playing alongside one of his heroes in Craig Goodwin tonight, and he's excited to go and get on the ball. It's great to watch.
We saw a photo this week of a very young Brodie Burkett having his photo taken at Cooper Stadium alongside, well, a much younger Craig Goodwin as well. 150th match for Macarthur. In the previous 149, 54 wins, 36 draws and 59 defeats, and a goal difference of -30 so far. 220 scored, 250 against. No change to those statistics yet. But in their young history, they do have 2 Australia Cups in their trophy cabinet.
And a chance to go top of the table, which they did most recently in the 23-24 season, only momentarily, but they have been there. And so have Adelaide. The question is, can they stay there?
De Cooley. No way past Scott. Can he find? Oh, there is. Brilliantly done. Yaya De Cooley still going. The cut back. And his under-23 Holyrood's teammate Luka Jovanovic couldn't find the top corner.
Yaya De Cooley, he's got his dancing shoes on. This is exceptional footwork and understanding how to manipulate your opponent and how to use that touchline again. His spatial awareness has really improved in the last couple of months. Jovanovic, he's hungry for a goal, but he's missed another one.
That's a wonderful touch for Caceres, who puts it out in front of Grosjean. Is it a third time lucky for Chimé Grosjean? Josh Smits grabs it at the second attempt. And now releasing Johnny Yull. De Cooley. He's already turned Walter Scott inside out once. Oh, and that's going to fall for Jovanovic. Not sure if that was Johnny Yull's intention. Here's Yull again, back with De Cooley. Looking to get numbers into the area. Yull with Barnett. Here's Sotirios Philis with Kitto. Kikianis now. Good ball. Kikianis for Yull. Oh, that's not such a good pass, Johnny Yull. They keep it with a red shirt. That's a good challenge from Bosniak. Talbot now. Closed down, it's going to break. Burkett with Kitto. Johnny Yull now. White for De Cooley. Trying to just dink the ball back into Kitto's path. Johnny Yull again. Good pressure this from Adelaide. They've got most of the possession. They've dominated territorially as well. Yull accelerates. Looking for Jovanovic, no way through. Strong challenge from White. And then Kikianis. Burkett with De Cooley. De Cooley trying to catch up. Philip Curto.
Macarthur under immense pressure at the moment. Every time they try and get the ball, it's Adelaide, bang, straight on them like a rash. De Cooley, he's got the feeling for it tonight. Not sure that was getting closer, but he seems to be confident coming back from the under-23s. The same with Jovanovic. And we talk about players going away from international duty. They go to that next level, but sometimes they come back fatigued as well. And it's taken them a little bit of time, and also Andrioli's not throwing them straight in. but we're seeing the best out of them right here and right now.
Kikianis' pass for Jovanovic is picked off. Mitchell Duke with Grosjean. Can't keep it in. It was a very close thing. Grosjean's had 2 great chances to open his account as well.
And he's got to keep going. You noticed in that drinks break a lot of players getting around him just to try and get his head up, because the game's not over. And you know how difficult it is as a player if you haven't scored for half the season. You're a foreigner, you've been brought on board to create and score goals, and it just hasn't happened for him in the A-League so far. But he's got to keep going, he's got to stay professional.
Scott, De Silva falling. So far, Sydney, the Wanderers and Melbourne City have all fallen to the home side on a Friday night at Coopers. Macarthur are looking to buck the trend. Adelaide, the best home team in the competition, 5 wins out of 7 at Coopers. Funnily enough, their 2 defeats at home this season have been their only 2 games played on Sunday here. Newcastle Jets fans, take note. You're here next Sunday.
Friday night at Coopers.
It's different.
It feels different. There's maybe not as many this evening because of the heat or whatever the reason, but you can be sure about this team being entertaining. We talk about the box office Jets, but these guys have been the fairy tale finishers the last 2 weeks in the A-League, and they've really shown how to play football all the way until the final whistle. They've played some exquisite stuff.
There's what's coming up for Adelaide. The Jets at home. Sydney, as here goes De Cooley on the charge again down the right-hand side. Newcastle, Sydney, Perth at home, and then Melbourne victory away at the end of February for the next instalment of the original rivalry. If it's anything as dramatic as the first was this season, we're in for another treat. This has been a very entertaining 35 minutes so far between these 2 sides that put on 9 goals last time they were here. 5-4 win for Macarthur. Could have been 5-5. Here's Goodwin. Goodwin rolls it back to Kitto. Oh, lovely back heel. Johnny Yeo! Brilliant football. Brilliant goal. Adelaide are in front. Johnny Yeo drilling the ball home, his 3rd of the season from the edge of the area after the 2 veterans that are Adelaide through and through, Goodwin and Kitto combined.
It was loading for Adelaide United. They kept the ball moving on the Harvey Norman replay. It's all about Goodwin's play and move, and that combination right there. Is this the assist of the year from Kitto? Unbelievable stuff. I'm not sure how much he knew about it, but in that position that his body was, he played it in and he continued his run. Now watch the cheeky back heel, just there. And Johnny Yeo gets his 3rd of the season. It's a fantastic strike as well. And what else can't this kid do? He's scoring goals for fun.
They're all smiles, and well they might be. 2 weeks ago here, Ryan Kitto got his first ever Adelaide goal against Melbourne victory. There he has supplied a brilliant assist. And Johnny Yeo has given the home side the lead as they move provisionally equal top. They'll need to win, I think it's by 4 or 5 goals if they want to actually overtake Auckland at the top of the standings, but now the onus is very much on Macarthur, who can also move top, and they can move clear top if they can now come from behind, but that's no easy task here.
I think if you're Auckland, you're going to need to have some thick skin over the next couple of weeks, because it's going to get tight, and they've missed opportunities to move ahead with this competition. Sydney FC have dropped points. It's there for the taking, and I think over the next month it's just going to get more and more exciting, and teams like Adelaide, Macarthur, they all have an opportunity to take that #1 spot.
Well, they have a 100% win record at home this season when they open the scoring, Adelaide. 5 out of 5 before this evening. That really was a crisp finish from Johnny Yull. Kitto, what an influence he's having in recent weeks. Yull for De Cooley against Scott. He's just overcooked it. Yeah, De Cooley down that right wing. Well, this is how it stands on the Hungry Jacks live ladder. Adelaide up to second, level on points with Auckland. Macarthur stay fourth, just behind Newcastle. Sydney will be hoping for a big Sydney derby tomorrow night to throw their hat, but look how tight it is. Just a mere few points separating the sides in the 6, but also outside the 6 as well. Melbourne City and Wellington playing out a dramatic 2-2 draw earlier today as well. The home side were leading that by 2-0. Here's White. Just shows that anything can and generally does happen in this league. Ryan White for De Cooley. It's a good ball. Now Burkett. Ooh. Well, he certainly knows where the back of the net is at the moment, doesn't he? In the form of his young life.
Well, he must be enjoying himself out there with his heroes. There's one more. Yaya De Cooley. Just simple as you like. That cannot happen if you're a Macarthur FC player. To be able to get a touch and turn and shoot on goal without any pressure. Curto, lucky he had a big left hand. They've got to get this sorted.
Into the last 5 minutes of the first half. Burkett, the young striker, being marked by the old bull. Mitch Duke. Goodwin delivers. Good ball in. Sotirios Phyllis was there looking for his first goal. Johnny Yull. A little too casual perhaps that time.
Well, Macarthur have got to get their shape correctly in check, and I think we talk about one player, Luke Bratton, holding everything together like glue. It is as simple as that, because there's a lot of space in between lines for Adelaide to operate in, and they're stretching the game in that wide area. We know that they're going to do that. But for Macarthur, they're just a little bit too far away from each other at times, and it's allowing Adelaide a lot of space and time to turn and go and get into those dangerous positions. They need a rethink at half-time.
Philip Curto just belting that ball straight into touch. Rather symptomatic of just a little lack of precision that's handicapping Macarthur so far in this one. They've had their chances, but have gone completely untaken. That's good pressure though from Rose, inviting Vickery forward. Luke Vickery. He's been in good scoring form of late as well. Talbot, who is normally bombing forward down that right-hand side. This is about as high up the pitch as we've seen him, and it's just for a set piece. Clearly being forced back, worried about Craig Goodwin and the movement up front. Here's Talbot again with Caceres. Good feet. Vickery gets a little bit lucky, but Jovanovic is quickly on the scene. Burkett back. Just got caught under his feet.
You can say what you want about Adelaide passing the ball, but their intensity to go and close down. That's your number 9 and your second 9 coming back and helping defensively. It's It's great to watch. Just watch them get close here. There's one. They don't win that pass. There's Jovanovic, bang, onto it like a flash. And there's Brodie Burkett asking and being an option for his teammate there. They're just working harder. It's as simple as that.
Kikiana's back to his keeper, Smits. Goes long towards Burkett. Craig Goodwin. Miss-hit pass and then a foul by Ryan White on Dean Bosniak. .90 seconds left in the first half. Adelaide with the lead, but Macarthur. They scored just 4 goals in their first 7 matches of the season. Macarthur. They scored 17 in the next 8. So from going from half a goal a game to 2 goals a game. Uzcock. So they know where the back of the net is as well at the moment. 5 against Newcastle, 6 against Melbourne City. Talbot! Well, he does pose a threat, even though the statistics may not reflect it when he gets into those attacking positions.
This is where they can be profitable. Adelaide concede the most from set pieces, and it's in the second phase of set pieces that Callum Talbot generally gets some sort of option to have a shot. He had one in round 2, if you remember, that was really, really close and well saved. But in the end, he's still searching, Callum Talbot.
We saw Liam Rose get his first ever A-League goal after over 100 matches. He's passed into that 3 figures himself now while still looking for that first goal. They will get chances against this Adelaide side. Adelaide have conceded more shots against their own goal than any other side in the competition. Here goes Talbot. Oh, that's a good ball. Is Duke offside? The flag does go up.
Need to get him involved a little bit more. Whether it's in the grounds, in the air, it's a great line from Adelaide. And Kikiana's just made sure that the linesman was going to put his flag up on the other side, but that pass was also delayed. They could play it earlier. If there's space in behind for Mitchell Duke in those sorts of areas, just give it to him and let him run onto it.
Three minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. Adelaide have been well worth their lead. Yaya Dakuli hit the crossbar. Philip Curto has made 2 great saves from Jovanovic and Burkett, and now perhaps there's more to come here. Ryan Kitto. Good defending, Uzcock. Well, if it wasn't for some desperate defending in their goalkeeper, Philip Curto, it could already be 3 or 4, really. You could say at the other end that Shimir Grosjean has had a couple of fantastic opportunities for Macarthur as well. Burkett, it's a nice turn, and he draws the foul off Bosniak.
Well, this kid's got something, hasn't he? They had a little chance here. If it wasn't for the 2 central defenders for Macarthur, it could have been a lot more. It's a really good timed sliding tackle, but just that movement from Burkett. He's asking for the ball. He's not afraid of it. He really wants to get in on the action. Yeah, it's great to see, and now we know why Ayrton Andrioli has decided to start him.
He's proving a real handful at the moment. Now, you mentioned Adelaide have conceded more set-piece goals than anyone else. Well, from the other end, they've only scored 2, the fewest of any side as well. A couple of corners. The stare of Jovanovic. He goes straight for goal. It's on target, but probably comfortable enough for a keeper of Philip Curto's experience.
Routine.
Helps if it had taken a touch off someone or a little deflection on the way through, it might have been a different story, but as it was, routine indeed. DeCooley can't get a touch. Ryan White and Kikianis sending it up almost to the second tier, or the third here on this near side grandstand at Coopers Stadium. Well, we were expecting entertainment. We have been served up with all that and more. We've seen a couple of great saves. We've seen some wasted opportunities in front of goal. Yaya DeCooley hit the crossbar. And of course, we saw a simply breathtaking opening goal in the 37th minute. Goodwin and Kitto combining for one of the most inspired assists of the league campaign so far. And Johnny Yull with the finish worthy of the build-up as well. Half-time at Coopers. Adelaide 1, Macarthur 0.
And the flair that we've become used to seeing from Adelaide United was there for everyone to see in that first 45. They lead Macarthur, the halftime show on the other side of this break.
The fiercest rivalry in Australian sport is reignited. The city of Sydney divided. This is football at its most passionate, most tribalistic. It's the Sydney derby. Near post, glancing header, shoots off the crossbar. It's still there, saved by Thomas on the line. Again, it falls to Quoll. What a time to score your first Wanderers goal.
Welcome to the Hungry Jacks halftime show. Sydney Derby tomorrow night. Andy Harper will be there for that one. That will be intriguing before we focused on what happened out there in the first 45. Wolfie Tele last week was very upset with the way his team went about it. And on the other side, Western Sydney got a win. So it promises to be a beauty tomorrow night.
It does. It lines up nicely. Gary Van Egmond 1 from 1 as a Wanderers coach. Ryan Fraser scoring, changing the game. And Sydney with two bad results. Certainly last week was a bad performance as well, back-to-back. So they need to turn that. All roads point to Moore Park. Sydney Derby's always one to watch.
Yeah, we'll be glued to that one. Archie Thompson, we were glued to the first 45 here, and we know Adelaide could go top tonight with a win, and they haven't disappointed so far.
Yeah, well, how many times I think when you look at the drinks break that one team comes out a little bit different. I thought that Macarthur started well. They put the pressure on Adelaide. Adelaide didn't really get into any kind of rhythm. And then the drink break happens, and I think it's happened a few times with Adelaide. Then all of a sudden the young boys started to run right up in that front line. Every time they got the ball, they faced the way they were playing, the 1-2s, and the Macarthur defence really couldn't get close to them. It was exciting to watch.
Let's take a look at the highlights from the first half. Harvey Norman highlights, Harps. What thing do you watch Adelaide and you start to get a feeling as the season progresses that they're starting to play in the Brazilian flair that their coach wants them to, and it was evident many times in that first 45.
Well, I think Archie nailed it, actually. The game turned on the drinks break, and Macarthur had it in their hands against a very good team, but the drinks break changed it. Credit to Adelaide. I mean, they're fantastic, very hard to contain. The more I see Ryan White, the more I think he's really something. I mean, he's just doing fantastic. And this is with Ethan Allegich, the shadow of his return being cast over the team. And White and Yale are just doing a fantastic job in midfield. Such fine players, but it should have been a different story. Macarthur had their chances, Archie, and Shime Grijan is he is so wasteful. He does so many good things in a game, but when it's there to put someone in front of goal or to finish himself, he's very wasteful. It's the kindest way I can put it.
And Macarthur did offer a lot, especially in that first part of that half, Archie.
Yeah, well, I agree with Harps. I mean, Grijan, it was a great opportunity when they cut it back to him. All he needed to do was hit the target, and again, he fluffed his lines. There was another opportunity where it was presented in the 18-yard box, and Vickery was open free. I mean, I thought that Vickery, especially in that first sort of 20 minutes before the drinks break, he is electric. I mean, you saw that little flick of his foot there.
The Elastico, I think they call that.
Yeah, I don't even know.
That's the Ronaldinho Elastico. And you see a couple try it, you don't see many pull it off. Luke did, it was brilliant.
And the strike was amazing.
Excellent.
And this is his link-up play that I thought was really great from Macarthur. Caceres and all out in these wide areas. This one here. I mean...
Well, it's Grijan who opens the play. I mean, this is the point. He's very positive through midfield. He's spread the play nicely. And with the side foot, the whole goal, he manages to hit wide, and then we'll probably see the other one come up. So this is at the period of their dominance, Macarthur, and they should have skipped clear, and they had another couple of good chances besides, but they didn't take those, and then they've offered the opportunity for Adelaide to do their thing, and they're so watchable when they get going.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I talk about flair, I talk about the little touches, that the Ryan Kiddo back heel that set up the goal, the Yaya DeCooley just over here finding space, and obviously Andrioli's given them the confidence to do that, to be themselves. Play freely.
Well, what I will say about Ayrton Andrioli is he was in charge of the youth when most of these kids were coming through. Yeah. I don't think it would be right to say that Carl Viet didn't encourage his kids to play in the front third. They've still been very exciting, and coaches before him. But they've come from someone, and Carl was part of that system, but it was Ayrton's baby. And maybe as a senior coach, they're responding to the junior coach they had and doing their thing.
Yeah, and what I love about each player, they play a role. Like with DeCooley, he gets the ball and he wants to take players on. You've got the other players like Brody, Ryan White, those sort of type of players. I mean, they don't necessarily like take players on, but they move the ball very, very quickly. They play the way they're facing, and for a defence, when the ball's moving so quickly and you're watching all these runners make forward runs, it's so difficult to be able to watch the 18-yard box, pick up where some of these Adelaide players are free. I mean, you look right here, that little neat pass, and that's a great strike. And I think Burkett's been excellent. I mean, from his first start...
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, incredible. Like Eric Pardlew talked about that he has no fear. He wants to get involved. He wants to get touches of the ball. And it's a really exciting brand of football that they're playing at the moment.
And huge expectations on him too. After scoring a hat-trick off the bench last week, he's certainly lifted again tonight in front of this crowd.
Made a good stuff, you know. Yeah. But it's the Adelaide cookie cutter, irrespective of the position. They're producing players of a similar mentality, and they do their thing in the various part of the field. They're very adaptable as well, so you can cut and paste. But they've just built really solid technical players, and you let them loose in the A-League, and they're just great to watch.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the Paramount Plus player index for the first half, and Johnny Yale, the goal scorer, is on top of that. White, you mentioned, and we should mention Philip Curto, because he's kept Macarthur in this game with 2 or 3 crucial saves.
Very much so. We're expecting Spitz to be busier. Should have been busier, Arch. Yeah. Spitz in the Adelaide goal.
Yeah, 100%. But also, too, like the way that Jovanovic is playing this season. I felt that last season, I mean, the short starts that he had, I thought that he lost a lot of the balls. He probably kept his head down. This year, what I've seen about his football, especially in that number 9 role, is that he plays the way that he faces. He doesn't try to do too much. He runs the line really well. There was probably one heavy touch where Curto came out and he blocked him. But I really love the way that his movement and he doesn't lose the ball and he brings players in. And that's one part of his game that has really improved this season.
We know Mile Stajovski's got the likes of Harrison Sawyer, Chris Economides on the bench to come in. What do you want to see from Macarthur in this second half?
Well, their big guys need to lead the way. They need to wrest control. I mean, it's easy to say this. How do you do it? Well, take a chance or make a change. I mean, I think Mile, who's done a great job with this team, but there's a line that has to be crossed performance-wise. That is finishing, creating chances, or you give someone else a go. I mean, the football's been good enough for them to at least be on par here tonight. And Arch, how you flick that is difficult in a half-time sense. Maybe some heated words, who knows?
Well, they need to start that 20 minutes like they did. They did it against City where they really pressed Adelaide, and Adelaide really didn't get into that flow like I was talking about until that second start of that break. But they need to bring that intensity again and be able to keep it for the 45 minutes.
Gents, thank you. That was the Hungry Jacks halftime shows. Here's what's coming up on Paramount. More A-League action, the UFC, some A-League women's action, and the Coppa Italia Inter v Torino. That's on Thursday morning. I've been waiting all week to say that on air. I don't like Inter anyway. Hey, the break is coming. Second half should be fascinating after this short break.
Welcome back to Cooper Stadium. Johnny Yole's goal, the difference between the two sides at the break. Adelaide United leading Macarthur 1-0. No changes to either side at the break. Both sides had plenty of chances. It could easily have been a different scoreline. And it's the home team that get us underway. The pitch has been watered, so we can expect some slick passing in still temperatures in the very high 20s. Eric Partaloo, not that you would have known it in that first half. There was great intensity from both sides and a real desire to get forward and attack at every opportunity. And we're seeing it immediately, just seconds after the restart. Jovanovic brings it back out with Ryan White. Barnett, De Cooley, chance to run at Scott. He's enjoyed some joy down that flank already, and it's Adelaide, who in the last 15 minutes of the half, Eric, really had their foot on the throat of their opponents.
Well, you just wonder, having trained in these conditions all week, possibly is now, you know, a plus point for them. You can see that the way they've acted in that first 45, they've been passing and moving. The intensity is there, but their recovery has been a lot shorter than the Macarthur players. They look like they're really stuck in that formation. They can't connect with Mitch Duke. They can't get themselves forward. And apart from those early chances in the first 10 minutes for Macarthur, they haven't had much going on in the final third.
Mitch Duke looks to put the pressure on up front. It's another ball forward towards Kitto, who's done well. De Silva stands firm, but it's an attacking throw for Adelaide. Taken quickly, Yole with Goodwin. Yole again, very quick change of direction. Now White. Phyllis all the way across to De Cooley, a chance to get out the head of speed perhaps against Scott, straight past him into the area. Scott's clearance. Barnett keeping Adelaide's foot on the accelerator. They've already had a couple of half chances. Balls in dangerous areas. White leaves a little misunderstanding there. Kikianis. And there it breaks down. Just a little reminder that you can't take your eyes off the ball, not for a second.
Well, you've got to make passes better than that. And make sure, because Mitch Duke is hanging around, waiting for something to drop, and he's that type of striker that will turn a nothing ball into a something ball. And he's made a career off doing that. Waiting in the wings, waiting around the shoulder, waiting around the box. It's a waiting game.
Here's Burkett coming deep. It's been a very good first half of football from Brodie Burkett. No free kick. White there quickly with Yole. They're so comfortable. Bosniak with Walter Scott, a little slip. Grosjean got there, but couldn't find a teammate.
Yeah, Ryan White's been really impressive in the middle of the park. From one side to the other, just chasing that lost cause. And in the end, Macarthur didn't play that ball forward. And Ryan White was able to force them back. And that's the negativity for Macarthur. If they go backwards, the Reds are straight on them, going and pressing 1, 2 and 3 numbers.
Mitch Duke did well, and he goes and looks for his return pass from Talbot as well. He didn't have anybody on this right-hand side to pass to other than his right back. Macarthur looking for a club record equaling 6th away match in a row without defeat. No foul as Talbot went to ground too easily. Jovanovic. And he thought he had players in support. They weren't there in the end now. De Cooley closing down Scott, who did that pretty well. Order Scott again with Caceres. Macarthur need him on the ball. Start directing traffic. It's a good one for Talbot. Let's see, Mitch Duke wanted it early. It was far too high for him. Sotirios Philis. Scott does well. De Cooley. Oh, they've given it away. Rose. Grosjean. Another little misunderstanding. Liam Rose furious that Grosjean didn't turn back out and keep just possession for Macarthur.
We questioned before the game where Anthony Caceres was going to play. Here he is picking up the ball. I guess in an away game, you want him to be in control of the football. They haven't got a Luke Bratton in there playing those passes. But I just think every time the ball goes forward, where is he? He's that number 10 option for Macarthur. And if he plays closer towards Mitchell Duke, they're going to have more opportunities to create something closer to goal. He scored a goal in the game against Melbourne City, so he's got hot feet at the moment. I just want to see him a bit further forward for Macarthur.
They only really have one viable central midfielder on the bench without having to do some reshuffling, and that's Oliver Randazzo, who could fit into that second 6 role alongside Liam Rose. The opportunity to push Caceres a little further forward. Grosjean, he'll run onto that, a little fortunate perhaps. Talbot, the cross towards Duke. Oh, fantastic header. Well, it looked like he wasn't going to get anywhere near it.
It was Mitch Duke. Well, I thought it was going to be Kikianis. That's how sharp he was getting in front. And he had no right to get to that one. Unbelievable athleticism.
A good reflex stop from Josh Smits as well. Well, a little reminder to Macarthur there. Get the ball into the box. You've got a player that scored headers in the World Cup. Caceres, well read by Barnett. Now Johnny Yull. De Cooley. No, that was all. Lack of ideas there for Adelaide, who basically just turned the ball back over to Macarthur. Now De Silva, deciding to take matters into his own hands. Talbot. Again, he had Duke making those runs near post, being looked after by Philis and Kikianis. Vickery, Bosniak. Talbot. Good challenge. Fantastic tackle, Ryan White, who was then rugby tackled to the ground by Talbot. Referee allows the advantage. 4 forward for Adelaide. Macarthur have numbers back. What can De Cooley do? Walter Scott did just enough within the limits of the law. Just.
Yeah, he did really well. And De Cooley's game tonight, he's mixed and matched really well. I think that time he gets it wrong. He maybe just needs to look and play a simple pass on the counter-attack. He had numbers forward. And when you get high and wide in a little bit of space and time, that pass is on in the middle.
Philis, back to Smits. Here's Barnett, who's coming central to try and help his side play out. White again with the ball for Goodwin. Goodwin for Burkett. Well, he hesitated, perhaps a little too long. Ryan White trying to curl it. Oh, times seemed to stand still for a moment there in the box for Brodie Burkett.
Well, that option there, great hustling again from White in the middle of the park. De Cooley had his head up, had time and space, and had his pocket picked by Anthony Caceres in the end, but he wanted that ball a little bit earlier. And we talk about experience and the difference between De Cooley and Goodwin. He made that pass when it was on. He dribbled inside the box and realised, okay, the gap is there, I have to play my teammate in. And De Cooley will do well to just keep it a little bit more simple in that final third.
You can hear Andrioli there on the bench just calling for simple. Exactly that, and he's getting frustrated, Ed and Andrioli. Let's see Isaias alongside him there on the sidelines. Isaias, the most appearances ever for Adelaide United, having overtaken Eugene Golekovic last season. And so it is Macarthur that head to the bench first. Mile Stojovski bringing on Chris Economides. And it's no surprise perhaps to see Shime Grosjean, the player that makes way. Economides certainly a player with quality to make the difference in the A-League. Vickery, he's got the better of Kitto. Vickery drives it in low, back post, and it's taken barely 15 seconds for Chris Economides to score his first goal of the season, his first touch off the bench. We saw a breathtaking assist in the first half for Johnny O. Well, that wasn't too shabby from Luke Vickery either.
Oh, it's fantastic work from Luke Vickery. He gets time and space out here on the Harvey Norman replay, and he leaves Kitto for dead there, and he just smashes that one across. I'm not sure what Josh Schmitz is doing there. He doesn't pick up the line of the ball, but the speed takes it all the way across. And Chris Economides, with his first touch here at Coopers Stadium, says to everybody, remember me? It's a fantastic ball across, it really is. And Adelaide, they have to watch themselves now because Macarthur are coming back.
It's just his 19th appearance for Macarthur in a season and a half for Chris Economides. But it was an assured finish at the back post as well. Certainly not the most difficult goal he's ever scored. Bosniak now. Now Macarthur. They can score goals. They can score plenty. So can this Adelaide side. This one is coming nicely to the boil. Here's De Cooley again. De Cooley. Pass scored! Well defended again from Uzcok.
Well, this could end up 5-4 after all, Robbie. It's one of those games. That release pass was right on the edge to give Yaya De Cooley the opportunity to pull the step over. This time he goes to the right-hand side and tries to get a shot on target, but he had help. Uzcok was there, the post was there, Curto was there. Macarthur may get lucky.
The Red Army behind the goal, making plenty of noise. They've been treated this season to some fantastic finishes. Johnny Yole looking to add another to his repertoire of fine strikes.
Yeah, you don't mind to see that option on the edge of the box. If it's on and you've got a free strike at goal, just needs to hit the target.
Finally, we get back underway. Such was the eagerness of Luka Jovanovic to put the pressure on. They've won it straight back through Ryan White. De Cooley again. Now, this is Sotirios Filis. Was he caught a little bit late behind the ball there?
Possibly just going up with Mitch Duke, was it? Yeah. And when you go up against Mitch Duke, you better have your full armour on, because there's knees and elbows and earlobes and noses flying around. He's been around the block, Mitch Duke, and it looks like minimal contact. No, that does hurt.
Well, it's rough and ready. Mitch Duke with a gentle little tap on the back of the head, but it looked like it did catch him right on the nose.
I just wonder for Macarthur, for players like Chris Economidis coming in to the side now, and you've seen Mitch Duke get signed, you've watched Harry Sawyer score goals, and Mile Sturjovski's not really used him after he's come back from his injury. And he's a name that we know in this competition that can do damage. We know that he can score goals. It's just a matter of him now fitting in this team for Macarthur. Where does he fit in? Can he play a certain number of minutes? The goal is an easy one, but it's a goal he should be scoring more often.
The 26th of his A-League career in match number 145. It's actually his 5th against Adelaide. He's only done better against Wellington Phoenix. Now look, this is the history of that goal. He comes on.
I just want to see the positioning as well of the goalkeeper, Josh Schmitz. We talked about him a lot this season. Take nothing away from the ball or the finish, but that's inside your 6-yard box. You come out at your near post and you should be able to get a foot to something like that. I just question the goalkeeper there.
It certainly looked within his sphere of influence anyway, as it fizzed across. Perhaps a question of pace. Take nothing away from the run that preceded it from Vickery, and then fizzing that ball across the face of goal. Now Jovanovic. White back out with Phyllis. De Cooley, beautifully done. Straight through Scott. Caceres across in cover. De Cooley's too quick. Well, his pace is causing huge problems now down that right flank.
Or tap your cards, pay your cash, whatever you have to do to get down to Cooper Stadium. De Cooley putting on a clinic. I love watching this guy play. He just excites everybody every single time he gets the ball. He is dangerous.
Already 5 assists. He can't have been far away from number 6 this season. This evening. Now Craig Goodwin. He's also got a few assists to his name. 3 so far. And a great deliverer from corners. Goes near post this time towards Kikianis. Ryan White does well to protect possession. Barnett back to Josh Smits. Here's Kitto. Over the top for Jovanovic. Luka Jovanovic still. Still Jovanovic. Oh, and then a heavy touch when it looked like it had all opened up for him again. Bosniak gives it away cheaply. De Cooley. De Cooley. Well, he got caught in 2 minds there. Didn't know what to do with it. Goodwin on the left. The cross back post, just too much for Burkett.
A little bit of brain freeze there.
I was just going to say, they really should have made more of that situation.
Yeah, and in particular for De Cooley, had the overlap from Barnett. That's why I want to see him be a little bit more positive and engage with his teammates. He's made a 30-metre run to get round you, and he's in a great position. Just thread him in.
Craig Goodwin also realising that that was an opportunity gone begging. Philip Curto. Getting the full goalkeeper goal kick routine out of the Red Army. That'll be a Macarthur throw. for the moment. Just the one change in the match so far, and it was a telling one from Mile Strzowski in the 57th minute. White. Oh, he's done brilliantly again. Ryan White this time loses out though. Bosniak shoots. Vickery. He'll keep it alive for Macarthur. Well, he's been wrestled to the ground by Ryan White. It looks as though Mile Strzowski is preparing another change there. Harrison Sawyer and Oliver Randazzo.
When we talk about goals, Harry Sawyer scored 5 of his 6 off the bench. So we know that when Mile makes substitutions in this zone, the team goes on to score.
Caceres drives it in, back post. It's a good ball towards De Silva. And now Liam Rose with the shot that was blocked. Well, no free kick there. Damien De Silva was absolutely not letting Yaya Dakuli go anywhere. He's got away with one there, I think.
I think the word is manhandled. But great to see the referee play on, because let's keep this thing going at Cooper Stadium.
That's just feeling that Yaya Dakuli went down too easily there. Juan Muñiz is also preparing to come into the game for Adelaide. He's provided a couple of lovely balls recently, including the assist for Ryan Kitto's winner against Melbourne Victory. Goodwin. Yull. That's under hit. Walter Scott does well. Economides. Strong from Walter Scott. So those changes coming now. Sawyer and Randazzo for Macarthur. Bosniak. Making way, and so too is Mitchell Duke. So no goal involvement. Brodie Burkett also makes way for Juan Muñiz for Adelaide. So Brodie Burkett, who played 68 minutes in his 2 previous matches of A-League experience, plays 68 this evening, and a very good 68 minutes as well from the youngster, still finding his feet at the highest level.
I think with those 2 substitutions from both sides, we're going to see both have recognised number 10s now. We'll see Anthony Caceres play a little bit further forward, and Juan Muñiz, who you've been talking about, whipping in things from the sideline. I think he plays central here now.
The shouting of the players, instructions to each other. White picked off by Randazzo. Here's Caceres. Caceres still, Liam Rose now. Looks up, back post, it's a good run from Talbot. It's a good defensive header as well from Kitto, and then a little clumsy from Luke Vickery.
Adelaide have got to be really careful in this next phase, because Macarthur, well, they're getting heated up here. Goodwin and Vickery. But Caceres is there now. Liam Rose is stepping forward. Can this back line of Adelaide handle this onslaught they're about to receive?
Just before the onslaught, a little drinks break. for these two sides because it's still very, very hot. Goodwin is continuing to have words with the fourth official, Daniel Cook, about just preventing him taking that free kick quickly. Well, it was very tough for Macarthur for the first 20-odd minutes of that second half, but then the introduction of Equalizes made the difference, as we see there again, the little coming together from the experience and the exuberance of youth between those two. Let's head back down to Lucas Ronaldo, who's with us this evening. Lucas, what can you hear and see from down there?
You don't often notice Craig Goodwin getting work up in that sort of way. So clearly a fair bit to say, and he's kept going through the drinks break to the fourth official as well. So maybe heading up a little bit more on the sidelines. Now going at Talbot too. But the Macarthur bench have been pretty calm all round. We know that's sort of how Mile Stajovski operates. Chris Equalizes with that crucial touch off the bench. But what to watch for the Reds next week? Obviously, they've got Newcastle to come next Sunday, and they've got a few players coming back. Bart Vreen's at the back, I think, will be a massive inclusion. But Ethan Alagic, he's been out since the Under-23s Asian Cup. And one for you, Eric, with how well Ryan White and Johnny Yeo have played in midfield today, how does Alagic get back into the team? He must, because he's been one of the best midfielders in the competition this season. But it's hard to see which one of those drops out.
Well, does he, Lucas? That's the question for the coach. It's going to be a difficult ask, I think, next week, and you've just got to go to training and see who performs the best. But you'd think that Alagic almost walks into the side, but I really like what I'm seeing here.
And this is Macarthur back on the front foot. Oh, and Phyllis under pressure. Equalizes was waiting to pounce for a second time. Again, it was Vickery running onto that ball from Sawyer down the right wing. Scott now. Caceres, lovely turn. Talbot trying to get away from Goodwin. That's nice feet from Rose and Talbot. The cross overhit. They've got Harrison Sawyer in there now as well, so the crosses are going to start coming even more than they were perhaps for Mitchell Duke. Muñiz. It is a fantastic left foot he has. Goodwin, speaking of left feet. Goodwin, still going. Good challenge, Talbot, corner to follow.
That's not easy from Callum Talbot. A roaring Craig Goodwin in front of his home crowd, trying to step forward, and really that move from Vickery. Macarthur are getting heated as well. Sawyer getting involved. A lovely little reverse pass. And they almost get something at the far post again, Macarthur.
Johnny Yeo is coming short towards the corner of the 18-yard box. Craig Goodwin to deliver towards the penalty spot. The header away by Caceres. Everybody back for Macarthur. Here's Smits. For Goodwin, well, one in the air by Craig Goodwin. The arrival of Juan Muñiz breaking the South Australian 100% outfield player record set for this Adelaide Red side as well. The Spaniard back on the ball again. It's a nice pass for Kitto. Goes again, Muñiz. And then as Uzcock came to close down, just thought perhaps he was a little bit younger than he actually is, Juan Muñiz.
Yeah, big credit there to Damien Da Silva, who just held his run. You watch his defending here, sees the runner and delays as long as possible to allow Uzcock or somebody else behind him to get into that zone if the ball went there. But Muñiz, he wants to find himself a goal. He's got a couple of assists. And what's interesting, Robbie, we talked about the game before the game. Millet talked about his starters and his finishers towards the game. And I think Harry Sawyer and Equalizes, they're the ones that have come on to finish this game off. Can they do it?
Caceres' header. Sawyer gets it back. Vickery. Sawyer wants it at the back post. Vickery down to the byline, chips it up. Smits flattened it a little bit. De Cooley gets it clear. Well, Vickery's delivery from this right-hand side has been a real poison so far, and then as he just tries to set up Talbot, he wastefully overhits it.
Well, in the end, it was a really crucial touch, this, from Schmitz, even though maybe it wasn't the cleanest, but the big man at the far post, we've seen him score a few this season. Last week against Melbourne City, remember that one at the far post? It's a definite weapon for the Bulls.
Tommy Cox, header. Rose, hit from behind by Johnny Yull. Another free kick for Macarthur. The foul count 7-5 against Adelaide. No discussion about that one, as we're going to have a couple of substitutions as Adelaide just look to try and turn the tide a little bit here now. Luka Jovanovic is making way, and we're going to have Ajak, Riak and Amlani Tatu coming on. Craig Goodwin, the other player, making way, so more youth for experience there. Amlani Tatu, we haven't seen him for a few weeks, not since the 4-0 loss here at home to the Central Coast Mariners. Just 17 years of age. Reacts, header away. Vickery with Uzcock, first time cross. Munich with Kitto. Barnett charging forward.
Zapping conditions, we forget how hot it is in Adelaide this evening, and I guess that's part of the reason Ayrton Andreoli's made those substitutions quite early, is to see Macarthur continue to get the most crosses in the competition. Can they make another one count? They've already had the one that resulted in the kind of meaty goal, but it's about energy now in this last 15 or 20 minutes or so. Experience counts for a little bit, yes, but energy will possibly go and win you the game.
Nice little 1-2, but it's White. Who's caught Liam Rose, and Liam Rose has stayed down. Kikianis has inherited the captain's armband from Craig Goodwin. Now, Liam Rose has stayed down. I think perhaps, if anything, he's just been caught in a rather tender part of the anatomy.
I'm not sure if Nathan Shakespeare's having a look at this one, or if he's fallen awkwardly here, Liam Rose. Possibly did some damage in the process. They both slid in for the ball. And I think what Macarthur is saying is that Ryan White has lunged into that and continued the movement with the leg. Watch it here. Well, from that angle there, but getting up, he's tried to find the ground, and he's found something else.
And they got caught in a bit of a tangle, the two players there. Ryan White certainly felt like there was nothing in it. If anything, he was being prevented from getting up and going after the ball. Rose is still down. And now we're into that final 15 minutes. Adelaide do enjoy a late show. They've scored more than any other side in the last 30 minutes of matches. He's back to his feet. Boos around Cooper's Stadium as we get ready for the final 10 minutes. Liam Rose is getting plenty from the crowd, but he can see the funny side of it. And he rejoins now. Tattoo. It's another young South Australian into the game, Amlani Tattoo. Ajak Riak grew up in Western Australia after being born in Kenya with South Sudanese origins. Can Adelaide turn this around again? Riak trying to bundle over De Silva. Vickery. Little touch for Caceres. Well defended Kitto.
He's been really good tonight. Vickery on this right-hand side, asking for the football, taking the hits, making the runs, making the crosses. And can he find something else one more time here for Macarthur? They look like the more likely team to go and get something, because Adelaide just not as punchy. They're not sticking with their passes or combining well enough to keep possession at the moment.
Sawyer comes a long way and gets it. Caceres cutting straight through. And Kikiana stood firm, stood his ground and deflected it wide.
It's a big danger sign for the home side. It really is, because Caceres can step forward and he can hit them. He got one against Melbourne City last week. That was not far away.
Caceres now with the corner. Floats it comfortably in the end for Josh Smits, who wants to release quickly and does so. It's a great ball for Amlani Tattoo against Walter Scott. Keeps it alive, only just. Ryan White now. Phyllis. Tattoo again, he gets it back from Barnett. The little 1, 2, 3, 4 doesn't pay off. And look at the space here for Vickery. Sawyer through the middle. Vickery, can he find him? Luke Vickery still. Well, he decided to go it all alone. Then takes it away from Caceres. Talbot's ball. Caceres still having a go at Vickery. Randazzo. Back from Rose. Well, he had options. Luke Vickery that time. He was a little bit selfish. Talbot. De Cooley, who's switched onto this near side. Ajak Riak fighting. Comes off second best. Liam Rose. Free kick again given away by Ryan White.
You can just see the distances from when Adelaide get the ball to playing it forward is just so far away. They are camped inside their own box at the moment. Not sure if they can get out and try and play out, because Macarthur's pressure's been really good and it's been building towards something positive.
Caceres again. Now we've got Jay Barnett, who's currently down. Now, is that just cramp? He's looking towards the bench as though... In fact, we are going to see changes come now. Joey Garuccio, who we thought may have been in the starting 11 today for his first ever A-League start, he's going to have to wait a little bit. And Panache Madana also preparing to come on, so the fourth and fifth changes for Adelaide are coming, but are they coming now? They're currently down to 10 with Barnett. Well, there's no substitution being made. Barnett's left the field. The header away by Riak. Adelaide momentarily down to 10 when they're really under pressure here. They have to make those substitutions. Adelaide bench must be going absolutely furious at the moment. Now the changes will come.
Well, you could just hear Ayrton Andrioli just saying, let's see how he is when he came off. But Jay Barnett made that decision. You've got to make the sub to get numbers in the box.
Johnny Yull is the other player making way. So Madana will go straight to right back for Barnett. De Cooley, strong. Riak. With Madana, first touch for him. Here's Sotirios Phyllis. Up the line, Joey Garuccio can turn and face forward. Scored on his A-League debut. Away to Wellington Phoenix. Garuccio, he might get in trouble here. A little over-exuberance, perhaps.
Liam Rose has been in the absolute thick of it. He tucks his shirt in for a reason, because he's going to battle each and every week for Macarthur. Was a little bit late there from the substitute.
A couple of local youngsters coming in. Panache Madana's been in and around the squad for the last couple of years. Joey Garuccio new this year to the first team. Caceres. Caceres has done well. Phyllis clears. Muniz trying to bring the ball under control. Tattoo, no way through. Now Madana. The ball bouncing around like a pinball. Economides dragging back Panache Madana.
It's desperate at Coopers. They want to see a winner. They're expecting something to happen in stoppage time again. That's what they got the last time they were here and the last away game. Can they make it 3 in a row?
Kito with Tattoo. Amlani Tattoo looking for Muniz, can't find him. Randazzo rides the challenge. Caceres. Scott up the line. Oh, good quick feed from Economides. Sawyer's in the middle. Randazzo as well. Economides. Oh, that was far too easy. Just passing it towards Josh Smits. It's another little opportunity for Macarthur, though.
And that's a difficult one. I think Harry Sawyer was asking for the ball at the far post. There's no way when you're at full speed running towards the goal that you're going to try and cross it. And it was the right option for Economides.
De Silva caught out. He has to race back. Sawyer does well to put the brakes on that counter-attack. It's been quite the game of two halves here. After a bright start from Macarthur, Adelaide dominating the opening stanza, leading at the break by a 1-0. And then Macarthur have had by far the better of the second half. Here's Tattoo, though, looking to make a mockery of all that. Ryan White. Madana drives it in hard, blocked by Walter Scott.
Now listen to this crowd. They're going to get right behind the home side. And there's been a few big performances this evening. White is at the top
of the Paramount Plus player index as it stands. Liam Rose, Johnny Yull, Caceres, Vickery, the assist provider for Economides as well. But Ryan White been tireless in the middle of the park and influential. Now, no Craig Goodwin, so it's Juan Muniz now. In it comes, good pace on it as well, towards Ryan White. Scott has stayed down, but White will keep it in play. Clips it towards the edge of the area. Great defensive header from Liam Rose again. And not a bad grab in the crowd either. The throw taken quickly. Adelaide looking to mount another grandstand finish. The fans have become accustomed, the players too probably. They know not to give up. Garuccio turns inside, Garuccio. Liam Rose has been everywhere, but he's given that away cheaply. Muniz! Oh, goodness. That left foot can pack a punch. Curto had to be very watchful.
Well, he's been sick of supplying things for his teammates, and he was in a great scoring position there to change the outcome of this one. But it is in stoppage time right now. The fairy tale finishes Adelaide. Can they find something here again?
Madana took it in his stride, but took it straight out over the end line. Macarthur with another change. There is the ladder as it stands, and for the moment, Adelaide with a point, climbing up one. Zane Hellway comes into the game to replace Luke Vickery. Now, has Philip Curto received a yellow card there? They are absolutely furious. The Macarthur bench, because they were making a substitution, they feel. Sawyer's header. Muniz and Garuccio. They left it for each other. Randazzo. It's a nice little run. Phyllis, good challenge. Oh, but they've got it back here. Caceres deflected. And up into the arms of Josh Smits. Confirmation of that yellow card for Philip Curto. And this really is the moment where the volume goes up. You can feel the tension in the air. You could cut it with a knife.
Well, it's about who wants it more. Who wants to go alongside Auckland on the top of the table? Who wants to go in front? Macarthur can. Adelaide can go level on points.
Tattoo, it's a great ball. Garuccio almost got the touch. And it's Curto with another save, and they've had to produce a couple late on here.
Well, that's absolutely incredible. Firstly, how he made the run and nobody saw him coming, and secondly, not making contact. He just needed to put something on it, anything.
Muniz's touch for Ryan White. All of a sudden, it's Adelaide who are coming home with a wet sail. Kikianis. Muniz. Oh. Tattoo wasn't there when he looked up. Andreoli once more. I get the feeling all of a sudden it's Macarthur who might just settle for a share of the spoils here. Macarthur's 150th A-League match. They've enjoyed some fantastic wins in recent years, including a 5-4 the last time they were here. It's not going to reach those heights in terms of drama and spectacle, but it's been an enthralling match of football for Friday night on Paramount Plus. Tattoo. Talbot sliding in, throw goes Adelaide's way. Ryan White again. Well, have been attacking. Now they head all the way back to their keeper to just try and keep on the ball. Smith's forced long though. Can they find something? Can they produce another moment of magic? Medana with Garuccio. White. Stands up Economides. Here's Muniz. That's a good ball. Kito. Tatu now. Amlani Tatu. Drives it across the face of goal. Kurto left it and it really wasn't far away.
Well, that was incredible that nobody could get across there. Amlani Tatu afforded the time and space to get forward and he just took it early. And nobody could even read what he was going to do. It wasn't a cross, it wasn't a shot. And had it been one or the other, that might have been in the back of the nets for Adelaide.
We've still got another couple of minutes. There's still time for either of these two sides to steal something. Hellway. Shot deflected. Smith's claims. Muniz. Again, he can't find an option. Caceres' touch for Zane Hellway. Kito has pole position.
The problem for Muniz there was he had 3 Reds that were asking for the ball over the top, but he couldn't swing his leg hard enough to get that pass or the purchase on it. But he needs somebody alongside him to play to and then play it longer. But it's at that stage of the game now. Adelaide rarely play it long, but that's exactly where the players are.
Sawyer's done well to rob Ryan White. Harrison Sawyer, Caceres wants it. He's got it now, finally. Here's Liam Rose. Talbot's overlapping run. Excellent defending from Tatu, but the final chance of the evening is going to be for the away side. A set piece, Adelaide's Achilles heel so far this A-League season. Caceres, they take it short. Talbot, the cross. The red shirts do well. And that will be that. Neither side in a dramatic finale able to land the knockout blow. And both had chances. Fantastically entertaining match of football at Cooper's. 2 great goals, unable to separate the two sides. The opportunity to go top of the table once again. The curse of this A-League season. It is going to be spectacular and tight right to the very end. That you can be sure of. Johnny Yull opened the scoring in the 37th minute after an inspired back heel from Ryan Kito. Adelaide finished the first half the better, but Macarthur, they came out in the second half with renewed ambition. And Chris Economides, with his first touch off the bench, turned home Luke Vickery's excellent assist. And then, despite all the huffing and puffing from both sides in the final minutes, neither side able to find an eventual winner. Finished here at Cooper's Stadium. Adelaide United 1, Macarthur FC 1. Well, Eric, these two sides, two of the most attacking sides in the competition, and only a goal to show for it, but they really did have chances to score many more.
Hey, you've got to give them credit on a hot night in Adelaide. It's been punishing all week long for the home side in that heat training in it, but